What's up, guys? How's it going? This is your boy back with another one. It's late, so forgive me. I've been getting tons of messages from a lot of you guys about some of the same questions, and if you hear my phone vibrating, it's someone that's not getting it. So, all right, there are three things when dealing with 1RPM that can help you out a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna go through those three things. These three things are something that you have to deal with support only. Like you can only contact their support about this. No one else can help you. You're not going to like you can't ask me for help because I can't help you with it. It has to come from the support team because they have to help you with it. It's something on their end. It's usually either legal or something formal. So number one is you uploaded a song or an album and let's say it gets rejected. So, you see over here that it's in red, it got rejected, and you're like, why is it rejected? What happened? Why was my music rejected? Okay, there are a couple of things that could have happened with that. One is they need a documentation from either you or all of the musicians or singers, songwriters, etc. You need a letter that states that you have the authority to upload this. The reason why they do that is because they don't have you pay for services, right? So since they upload your music for free, they send it out. It's a free to use service. They need a legal documentation from you stating that you have the right and the permission to release your own music. Okay. So if it's just you and no one else, all right. So let's say for me, for example, okay, I'm uploading music for the first time. They reject it. I contact support and they send me a document where it'll say something along the lines of the marketing authorization is a document that proves that you as a musician or artist have the right to send the album with the registered artist on our platform for distribution in digital stores. This documentation must be granted by the artist in question. The artist in question would be me because I'm the one uploading the music. Or let's say I worked on a collab with someone else on the song and all parties need to have a written consent form pretty much. It says a typed text, meaning a email or a typed letter or even a handwritten letter. That's what I did my first time. I hand wrote a letter and scanned it and sent it to them. In question declares to be aware as well as being responsible for the veracity of the information given, recognizing and assuming full blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it's a long email that states, we need you to tell us that you are a legit person that made this music. That's all they're asking for. So you can send them a letter saying, it's kind of a legal document as well, but what you send them is a form saying, I, your name, hereby give consent to 1RPM to distribute the music of using your artist name, fill in the blank. There are templates that you can find online for this, but that's pretty much what you're stating. You're saying that I give you 1RPM permission to distribute music on my behalf because I made this music. That's what they're asking for. Okay, and that's something that a lot of you guys have been like contacting me about, like, oh my god, I got this letter, like my music got rejected or it's being held or something, and it's like they're asking me for some type of something, and it's like that's what they're asking you for. They're pretty much just asking you to give them permission to distribute the music because you're not paying them to do it. If you're paying them to do it, that's different, but you're not. So they want to make sure that all parties involved, whether it be you, your songwriter, your mixing and mastering, your vocalist and all that stuff, whoever helped you make your music and put it together, they need permission from everyone in a written form, documentation, so that way, you know, they don't get sued or something when when you put out your music and it's like, hey, I didn't give you permission to put out my music later on, or um or in a case of where you stole a sample or something and it was copywritten, they need that permission to go, hey, this person gave us permission to distribute this music because they own the rights to it, or they assume responsibility for it. We're just releasing it and sending it out there. Okay, so that's what 1RPM is asking for in that regard. Another thing that a lot of you guys ask me for is information about them asking for the master. So if they're asking for the master track, when you contact support, or if you try to upload a track and they say they need the master, they're not saying give us the master. That's not what they're asking for. They're not trying to own it. They're not trying to buy it off of you. They're not trying to steal it from you. What they're saying is, we need you to upload the song in a specific format. Usually WAV and AAC are the two that you want to use. Do not use MP3. The reason why you don't want to use MP3 is because MP3 is very compressed and it sounds very bad when it's compressed again. So what's happening is, when you upload your music, and let's say you're just a singer or you're just a vocalist, you got the track, you did it, you got it on MP3, and hey, great, you're ready to upload it. When 1RPM or any other retailer sends it out, some retailers compress it again. So like iTunes, for example, they're going to recompress your song into an MP3 format. So since it's already compressed, it's being compressed again. So it's going to sound pretty bad. Like, it may sound good to you, like if you're listening to it, if you're listening to your music in your car, or um through a sound system, with speakers, it's going to sound great. But when you put headphones on, it's going to sound horrible, and you're going to hear like some weird white noise. You might hear some distortion in vocals and your instruments. And it's going to be very slight, so you'd have to turn it up really loud to hear it, but that kills the quality. So let's say someone who's a DJ wants to blast your music. When they're listening to it on their headphones really loud, getting a vibe for it, they can hear that distortion because they have studio grade headphones. Um, so you don't want to do that. You want to upload your music in WAV or AA or ACC format. And the third thing that you guys contact me the most about is mostly getting started with 1RPM. I do not work for 1RPM, and I will say that again. I do not work for 1RPM. All right, I'm just an artist that uses them, um, and I make these videos to answer you guys' questions, hopefully help you guys out, give you guys options. Um, if you have a problem with anything uploading your music, or if your stuff gets rejected, anything like that, go to support. So behind me, there's support. Go to support and submit a ticket. That's the best thing you can do, because when you go to support and you submit a ticket, um, they're the ones that are going to handle it. If you're looking at something and you're like, hey, I don't know what's going on, like, as you can see, I've submitted quite a few things to them. Um, some of you asked me, can 1RPM um create your YouTube artist channel? Yes, that's what they do. So, like, that's something that they can do. You just have to contact them. A lot of issues that a lot of you guys contact me about are things that you have to go to support about. I don't work for support. I wish I did. That would be cool. But since I don't work for them, I can't help you. I can only tell you, just contact them. And then usually all of you, when you contact them, that's when everything gets solved. But contact support. That's the first thing you want to do if anything comes up, especially if you're new and you're starting for the first time. Uh, contact them. Contact them before you upload music. Actually, that's what I did. Contact them and say, hey, I'm planning on uploading music with you guys and using you guys as a distributor. What are all the things I need up front so that I know to cover? And they will actually give you a list, like they did with me. They gave me a list of, we're going to need your photo ID, possibly if you've already released music, because we need to make sure that you're the person that actually is the owner of this music. We may need a written letter from you stating that, you know, that we're allowed to distribute your music. If you're a singer or if you have a vocalist on your music, they will ask you for a letter from the person who did the vocals. So let's say you just made the instrumental and then you found a freelancer to sing on your track. They want a letter from that person stating that they gave you permission to use their voice. That's legal backing to make sure that, legal action doesn't take place. Like, so that way they know you didn't steal that person's vocals. Okay. Do they have a way to verify that person? Maybe not. But they at least want a written letter to show, like, hey, this person gave us a letter. They said they have the authority to use these vocals. So we're gonna go through with it. All right. Um, trying to think what else. That was pretty much everything. And like having a PayPal set up. You want to have your PayPal set up already. They're not going to make one for you. Trying to think what else. What else are frequently asked questions that I asked first? No, I think that's about everything. Because usually what you want to know is what they're going to need from you, which is they want a written letter. They might need your ID. They're going to need a letter from whoever did vocals on your music. If it's you, then write the letter as yourself, that you are giving them permission to use your vocals. You are writing them a letter to say that you are giving them permission to distribute your music. Um, and make sure your music is in the right format. Those are the best things I can tell you when getting started with OneRPM. Um, and I hope that helps because that's usually everything that people contact me about. As far as random things, FAQ, um, when will music be uploaded to stores? When you upload music with them, they will give you a timeline. It's like a picture. It's a small picture and it tell you when the stores receive your music and how long it takes for them to receive your music. They cannot speed that up. They cannot, you know, rush it. It's up to the stores. The stores, like, let's say Spotify. OneRPM cannot tell Spotify, "Hey, upload this person's music tomorrow." It depends on when you set the release date. So if you set the release date to tomorrow, OneRPM has to verify that music. So they might not be able to get to it, uploaded by tomorrow, maybe by the end of the week. Yeah. Maybe by like next week. Yeah. But, you can't just be like, hey, 1RPM didn't upload my music to Spotify the next day like I asked them to. It's like, well, Spotify is its own retail store. They're their own market. They're their own entity. They don't work for 1RPM. So it's up to Spotify when they want to receive your music and make sure everything is proper. Those are little things that you can't force. So if you have any questions at all, contact their support. Like I said, the menu, never know where I am. Menu support right there. Contact them. Um, that's the best thing I can say to do is just contact support. If you have any questions and you're just starting out, contact support. The things I can help you with are like if you need advice choosing a distributor, um, if you need help finding your genre or anything that's not legal, because they have to cover that. I can't help you with that because that's not my job. That's your responsibility as an artist, as a composer, as a songwriter, as a producer to make sure that your stuff is legally backed. I can't help you with that. So I hope this video helps. Because I know someone's still blowing me up right now. Um, like I said, make sure you give them that letter. Make sure you give them, like, if they ask you for an ID, an ID. If you're gonna do songs with a vocalist or someone else, make sure you get a written letter of permission from them stating that you have permission to use their music. And if your stuff gets rejected, don't worry about it. Just contact support and they'll take care of it. And if you want your YouTube channel verified or your YouTube artist channel to be a thing, contact support because that's what they do. All right. So I'll see you guys later. I hope this answered all your questions so far, at least to start. If not, leave a comment down below and I'll try to, I don't know, try to say it in a different way that makes sense. I guess, but yeah. I'll talk to you guys later and see you in the next video. Peace.